UFC 312 is this Saturday. We've got your full fight card breakdown coming right up. It's been a little while since we've done one together, me and Dino Bam Bam, so stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I'm your boy DS, and I'm here with the kid, Dino Bam Bam.
Damn, the kid. It's been a while since I've been called the kid, man. I feel grown as fuck, DS. I feel grown as fuck.
I felt like Coach Tate right there. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, shout out Coach Tate.
I'm sure we've shouted him out on the show before. But anyway, bro, it's good to see you, my friend. It's been a little while that we've done one of these together. Like I said in the little intro, just happy to be back, even if it's for this trash-ass UFC 312 card.
Yeah, it's a fucking horrendous card headlined by 2 title fights, so we have that to look forward to. Rest of the card, absolute dog shit, as you mentioned. DS, I'm feeling sick, bro. I'm coming down with like a cold. I got a stuffy nose or something. I have a funeral to go to tomorrow, but guess what?
Oh, sorry, bro.
You're good, brother. But guess what? What do we do, DS? What do we do here at D107 MMA?
Just talk shit.
We talk shit, but we persevere, guys. We fucking drop the content. So do us a favor.
This is about to be your Jordan flu game right here, I think.
This is my flu game on this whack-ass card. At least he did it in like a moment that mattered. This would have been sick for like International Fight Week. But do like the fucking thing at the bottom says like and subscribe. Help you boys out. We're trying to get to 1,000. It means a lot to us. Just fucking press the button. It's free. I literally don't get why motherfuckers don't press it, DS. It's free, dog.
True. Yeah. Ain't really shit free anymore, especially in this economy, but we are. So
that's it. And then fucking follow us on Instagram at D107MMA. Yuri, fucking a lot of fighters. Trayshawn Gore, Charles Johnson, who's calling out fucking Manel Kopp. Nina Drama comments on our shit. Help your boys the fuck out. Follow us. It's not that hard, dog. You're on your fucking phone all day. Press the fucking buttons. My bad.
I didn't expect the whole rant, honestly, but
my bad. We good, man. This card sucks, and it's got me feeling some type of way.
I respect it. Yeah, obviously we've got the main event, which is, you know, a rematch of a banger of a fight. Is it Dricus or Dricus, dude? Everybody switched up on me. Now it's Dricus. This whole time for years it was Dricus. Now it's Dricus.
Well, here's the thing about Dricus, you guys. You know, who knows? Who cares? You know what I mean?
No, we both should have rocked those weird ass fucking handlebar mustaches like he has right now.
I'm down. You know, I would have done some shit like that if we had preparation.
Yeah, we didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got Weili taking on Tatiana Suarez, the undefeated Tatiana Suarez, 10-0. Interesting, though. You know, interesting. She just misses more time over and over again. So we'll see, man. Weili is a big chunk to bite off, but we're going to get to that in a second. Anything else before we get into the first of these 13 fights on the docket?
No, man, I just want to fly through these first fucking 11 fights and get to the important shit, so let's do it, DS. Let's fucking do it.
Let's do it, and we're going to start with your boy, Hyun Park. He is taking on Nyamjargal Tumendemberel. Not bad. I mean, pretty good there. Pretty good.
I mean, hey, good. You did it right, I think. That's how I would pronounce it with my American English accent. That's how I've pronounced it in the past, so I hope we're not butchering the fuck out of it. But anyways, Hyun Park, undefeated DS, undefeated South Korean prospect. We always talk about these Asian prospects. How good are they, right? The level of competition over there, not so great, but he's looked pretty solid, well-rounded, great grappling, clean boxing, good footwork. He looks like actually a solid fighter from that region, which is something to get excited about. He's high IQ. He's dangerous anywhere the fight goes. He's taken on, check this out, Nyamjargal Tumendemberel, okay? That's a Mongolian name if I've ever seen one. Shout out Mongolian beef, a great fucking food. Yeah, he's relentless, bro. Big power. It looks like a fucking finisher. Looks nasty. He looks the part, DS. Dangerous submission game. Last time, kind of fucking exposed, man. I understand the plus 190 here, and I could get being tempted by that plus 190, but I'm going to trust Hyun Park. I think he's just going to be too technical, too safe, too smart, and I think he actually gets himself a submission in this one. I will go Hyun Park, round 2, submission, RNC.
All right, interesting. I don't know how technical Hyun Park is, in my opinion, quite frankly. But you know, he's a brawler. Really, is kind of what it comes down to. My qualms with him is that he's very hittable, and especially you saw that in the last fight too. So being hittable, being kind of risky, but not necessarily having a ton of power. but realistically, man, Nyamjargal is just not that good. I don't think he's really UFC level personally. I think his only chance is to try to get a knockout in the first round. Other than that, cardio-wise, skill-wise, and more than anything, the wrestling, I just don't see him standing a chance here. I could definitely see a sub, but I'm going to say decision in this one.
I feel you. And by the way, you didn't comment on the beautiful backdrop we have here of the Sydney Opera House lit up at night.
Dude, I didn't even notice it, to be quite honest with you. But, yeah, it looks great, honestly.
Thank you. Looks like a fun place to go. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to the next fight. We've got Quillan Salkilld versus Anshul Jubli. Sorry, man.
Your boy, Anshul Jubli.
That's your boy, if anything. Look, man, Anshul Jubli, this one is as simple as this for me. I don't believe that Anshul Jubli belongs in the UFC. He is from a region of the world where, obviously I understand that the UFC wants to have a market. Dana's working on this. He wants Japan. He wants India. It all makes sense to me. But unfortunately, Jubli, I just don't think he's got the skill set. Pretty simple as that, quite frankly. QS, I'm going to call the other guy. QS on the Contender Series, he had a nice win over Gage Young. And his cardio looked pretty good. He had some nice takedowns in that one, too. For me, Anshul Jubli is I don't see a way that he can win this, man. He doesn't have power, right? You saw him fold and just kind of like, what the fuck happened against Mike Breeden last time out? So that was weird. You add that into the fact that I just don't think he's got the skill set, and I don't really have much to say about it. I'm gonna go with the other guy that's not named Anshul Jubli, and I'm gonna go by decision. I haven't seen that much of Quillan, so I don't really know kind of exactly what to expect from him, but I do expect that he's going to get the win in this one. And hopefully Anshul Jubli gets cut, no disrespect.
That's fucked up. Yes, look, for Quillan Salkilld, man, he's a guy that he has some finishes, right? So I'm not going to waste too much time here and just go into this whole thing. I agree with you fully. There's a couple things I want to just bring up. Number one, weren't we supposed to have UFC India last year? Like, what the fuck happened to that? There was no announcement ever being canceled. Like,
yep.
So there's that.
I don't know.
That's unfortunate. Number two, there is the other Indian prospect. I forget.
Well, he probably literally realized that there's not enough where are you going to put just Anshul Jubli and what's her name?
Pooja Tomar.
Yeah, Pooja Tomar, and just like a bunch of American and Brazilian guys. Like,
right. I don't get it. And DS, it goes to
or are you going to bring in like some ass complete like they do in when they go to the Arab world a lot, right? Where like every now and then like the early prelims are just sprinkled with some absolute fucking nobodies, and you're like, oh, okay, like I guess this guy's just like a rental or something.
Right, pretty much.
You're not going to see him again. You may never see him again. He might get a win, and you may not see him till like fucking the next time they're in Saudi Arabia.
Facts. And here's the question that this always raises for me. Like, it's the same thing with like Indian soccer or Indian basketball. You have a fucking 1.5 billion people. Like, how can you not field somebody who's really fucking good at anything, right? Like, I would feel like you take a sample of 1 billion people. You're going to have a great artist, a great fucking chef, a great fighter, a great fucking cricketer, a soccer player, an actor, a singer. I just don't get it, man. They can't produce sports stars over there. Maybe it's the fucking economy. I'm going Quillan Salkilld. I'm going by third round knockout, man. Anshul Jubli just doesn't have that dog in him, dude. We saw that in the last fight.
I agree with you. I'm going to say second round knockout, actually.
Yeah, fair.
All right, let's move on. Next fight, and this one could be interesting. We've got Kevin Jousett. He's taking on Jonathan Micallef. What do you think about this?
I missed this fight on typing it out here, so just give me a second. I want to get the odds right for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, there it is, Jonathan. Hey, just take this time to talk to the fans. Let them know some stuff, man. They miss you. They haven't seen you in a while. Go ahead.
Shit, I'm about 70 fucking hours fasted right now. More, actually. I'm probably like 73 hours fasted right now. Haven't had a fucking calorie in since like Sunday. So that's kind of fucked up. But, just chilling otherwise. Looking forward to breaking down Kevin Jousett versus Jonathan Micallef for you, though.
Hey, that's good, man. I'm excited that you're excited, brother. Here, I did that with one extra parenthesis. I am back. All right, DS. Kevin Jousett's going to win this fucking fight. Let's not play games, right? We know what he's about. He's long-bodied. He's down at CKB. He's kickboxing with all these really good guys, and he comes in with a highly respected, highly decorated judo background. And I think really that's all he's going to need to beat this dude, because he's just a very aggressive striker. He does have some knockout power, Jonathan Micallef does, but Kevin Jousett, not an easy guy to hit. It may look that way from the Brian Battle fight, but I think the world of Brian Battle. Me and you have talked about him so much, but he's a fucking dog, man. And I think it takes somebody pretty damn special to beat Kevin Jousett. I think pretty highly of him. I mean, very technical fighter, and he's got the judo background to boot, man. So I am going Kevin Jousett. I think he easily wins this fight. I'm going to go with a submission. I think he's going to get a takedown in the second round up against the cage and lock in a rear naked choke. So give me Kevin Jousett Poussey by second round sub.
Yeah, man, you pretty much said it. Kevin Jousett is just going to be much, much better on the feet here. Sometimes, I mean, this is less like about this fight specifically, but for me, I just want him to be a little bit more active sometimes, right? Like he does kind of like the Rob Whittaker, not like same kind of karate style, but, pops in, quick boxing combination, pops back out, and then just kind of circles it. And I understand scanning your opponent, downloading information and all this stuff, and that's fine. But I just want to, because he's got the skill set on the feet, right? I just want him to be a little bit more aggressive, use his kickboxing, and just kind of like dominate. I want to see like a dominant win, right? And I think he has the potential to do that in this fight. Micallef is very good on the ground. But again, like you said, Kevin Jousett is not just some scrub. He's not just going to get controlled on the ground. Jonathan Micallef's opponent on the Contender Series kind of looked like a can, at least, with the eye test. I didn't watch any film on him, I'll be honest with you. But, just looking at what he's done, he kind of seems like a can. And Micallef had some trouble holding him down. So I don't see Micallef taking Jousett down and keeping him there, certainly. I just don't see that happening. I'm going to say Kevin Jousett by early second round knockout.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jonathan Micallef, he's known as a grappler, DS, and Kevin Jousett is not, right? He's known as the striker. But again, that judo background, man, it plays into it. He's got some dangerous sub skills himself. And I thought you were talking about like his inactivity in terms of fighting, like how often he fights for Kevin Jousett, because he is one of those guys that kind of just falls into
forget about him a little bit.
Sure, because he falls into the mold of these themed cards, right? He's either fighting in Paris or fucking Australia. Brother, it's okay. It's nice in the United States. You know what I mean? We have freedom of speech and all that bullshit that Sean Strickland's been talking about. Like, come take a fucking visit. Vegas is cool.
Yep. You know how I feel about the fighters, international. Like, dude, especially if they're good. Like, just come here, bro. Just come here or go anywhere else besides Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, moving on to the next fight, we've got Rongzhu. He's taking on Cody Steele. Dude, like, again, no disrespect, right? But it's just like, the road to UFC fighters, not exactly my cup of tea, right? And Cody Steele's coming off a really nice knockout on the Contender Series against Chasson Blair 3 months ago. Rongzhu, this is his second stint, I believe, in the UFC. And then Chris Padilla messed them up last time. To me, man, I'm going to go with the undefeated fighter here. I'm going to go with Cody Steele. I don't feel super high confidence in this one. Rongzhu does have some power, and even in his last fight, he was landing some nice shots. This is a low confidence pick for me, man. I know Cody Steele's a -230 favorite. I don't think Rongzhu is like a complete scrub like some of these guys are, and I do think he's got some power and some decent striking. But for me, I'm going to go Cody Steele by decision.
Yes, I'm with you, but I'm way more confident than you are. I'm not a believer in Rongzhu anymore. Yes, he has that one-shot power, but I think he's just going to be wrestle-fucking this one, to be honest with you, man. Cody Steele, he's kind of what we need, right? We need an American prospect. He's got that wrestling background. He kind of falls into that mold of, like, that guy, right? Like, he is that level prospect. So hopefully he proves me right. I think his wrestling is going to be way too much for Rongzhu in this one. Wrestle fudge, unanimous decision for Cody Steele. I think we got ourselves a real one, brother. I think we got ourselves a real one in Cody Steele.
Yeah, you're high on him?
I'm pretty high on him.
Okay. All right. Let's see what's good.
Come on.
Moving on to the next fight. We've got Colby Thicknesse. He's taking on Aleksandre Topuria, if you will. Topudo. That guy's lost his fucking mind, huh? But what do you think about this fight?
Hey, by the way, what a fucking name. Colby, just thickness.
That's wild.
Love that shit. Anyways, this is fucking Volk versus Tapturo 1.5. You know that, right? That's what's going on over here. Colby Thicknesse taking this fight on short notice, the main training partner of one former featherweight king, Aleksandre Volkanovski, obviously taking on the brother of Ilia Topuria, Aleksandre Topuria. Both men will be in the corners, so that's fucking wild. Anyways, Aleksandre Topuria, obviously Ilia Topuria's brother. I believe he's the older brother. He's similar fighter, man. Aggressive as hell. DS, really powerful on the feet, crisp. They both come from that same background of grappling, so he's very well-rounded, very athletic, very similar to his brother. Obviously not the level of his brother, or he would have already been here, done that kind of thing. One thing is really interesting to me about Aleksandre Topuria. His record is fucking riddled with trash cans, man. This guy has fought the absolute, like, bottom of the barrel, scum of the fucking earth kind of guys on his way up. So the record is a little inflated. He's taken on Colby Thicknesse, as I mentioned. Training partner of Aleksandre Volkanovski. Very, very technical striker, man. Really sharp kickboxing. Great range management. Fights well from distance. The thing to me that is going to make the biggest difference here, besides the short notice of this fight for Colby Thicknesse, is the fact that, he's better than Aleksandre Topuria on the feet. He's just not as strong, man. I think Aleksandre Topuria is just going to be too, muscular, too strong for him physically. He's going to kind of ragdoll him around. I expect Topuria to use the grappling, and I think that's how this fight ends. I'm going to go Aleksandre Topuria, late first-round submission after kind of throwing some big-ass shots and then working in a takedown and finding that sub. But should be interesting. Definitely one of the more interesting fights on this card.
It is, and I think man, I'm very, very tempted. Not tempted to pick Thicknesse, right? I don't think he's going to win. I do think that Aleksandre Topuria is going to win. I don't think the UFC would be making this fight if he wasn't going to win. I also don't think Aleksandre Topuria is UFC level. I'll be honest with you. He's not the athlete that his brother is. He's not nearly as explosive. He's very strong. Yeah, he's very strong. I'll give you that for sure. I think at some point he was definitely juicing too, for what it's worth. But for me, man, look, I just think the UFC is making this fight to kind of bank off the name, right? And no disrespect to Thicknesse, right? He's got some heavy body kicks. He's got some nice combinations too. He's got some power. Topuria is definitely going to have more power. I am curious about Topuria's cardio as well, right? Because we have not really seen him go out of the first round. And quite, has he ever gone out of the first round?
He got knocked out once. I know that.
Right, but I mean, whether he's winning or losing, I don't think he's been out of the.
He's been in the third round once when he got knocked out.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So my big question mark in this one for him is the cardio. He's got decent talent, right? I just don't think he's quite UFC level, in my opinion. I really don't. But that being said, minus 400 or minus 380, whatever it is fucking crazy. If I'm sprinkling anything on this one, I'm sprinkling it on the underdog for sure. I mean, I think we could be in for a ripe underdog here. And especially after the first round, if you see Topuria win the first round but kind of start to gas, I would check those live odds and see what they're doing.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Aleksandre Topuria versus Cody Haddon, which would have been a sick-ass fight. I would have probably took Haddon in that
one. I would have taken Haddon there too.
Yeah, I fucks with it.
I'll fall with that. All right, next fight on the card is Wang. She's taking on Bruna, Brasil, and my goodness, the paths that these ladies have taken to now end up meeting here is very interesting because Wang obviously had a shit ton of hype. I hate myself for buying into the Wang hype. I'm not gonna lie, like she's some fucking knockout machine. She's not. She had one really sick ass fucking knockout essentially, and is now a minus 455 fucking favorite. These odds are absolutely insane to me. Bruna Brasil is not very good as well. This is kind of a theme in this card. If you haven't noticed, she's coming over a win over Meatball Molly, right? And she fucked her up, body shots and all this. I think Wang still has the better striking here. I really do. Bruna Brasil, I don't think she's UFC level. I know I keep saying that. I just don't, man. I really don't. I've gotten fucked by her both times in the UFC, right? Where I bet on her, she got fucking cooked. I bet against her, I got cooked. So anyway, I'm very, very, very bad at predicting Bruna Brasil fights. I am gonna pick Cong Wang here. I think she's gonna get. I'm not gonna go knockout, man. I was thinking maybe a late, like, third round knockout. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna pick Cong Wang by decision. I will again just say these odds are fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm going Cong Wang by decision as well. I thought you were going to say, speaking of thickness, we got Bruna Brasil's great looking lady. You know what I mean?
She's decent looking, but she's not thick at all. What are you talking about?
No, I know, but it would have been like a cool transition. She's actually a very
but I don't lie to the people like that.
I know, I feel that, and that's what we do here at D107. Hey, you want the truth?
Just be we just be lying.
No, we don't be lying. We tell the truth, DS. Y'all like the truth? Click the fucking subscribe button. Yeah, Cong Wang is gonna win this fight. She was a little fraud checked last time out, and I love that because I don't really like her fucking attitude. I don't like the way she came into the UFC saying she needs to be on fucking main cards. Like, who are you, bro? Who the fuck are you that you need to be on main cards? Number one, as shitty as it sounds, I'm sick of women's fights on fucking main cards. Number two, nobody fucking knows you. You're not cool. You're not cute. You're not fun. Fuck off. So she had herself a knockout. That was nice.
Right, the worst she can say is no, bro. Right.
Just... You know, fuck her. But she's going to win this fight by decision. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I'm wrong.
Godspeed. Yep. Godspeed. Moving on to the next fight, we've got Tom Nolan. He is taking on Viacheslav Borshchev. And speaking of weird odds, the odds on this one are weird to me too, man. But what do you think?
I love this fight, man. Another one of these fights on this card. I shouldn't say another one of these fights. Yes, it is another one of these fights on this card, but it's one of the only good fights on this card. I think this is a super interesting fight. Two pretty similar fighters, DS, both guys that are strikers. Tom Nolan, tall, rangy as hell, controls range well, great jab, great straight punches, and great straight punches in general. Really does a great job. And I don't see him taking this fight to the ground, right? And to me, that's kind of where things break down because I got to look at it like I sort of did with MVP and Shara. This is going to be a 15-minute fight on the feet, and I have to go with the better striker if that's the case. And to me, again, that's Viacheslav Borshchev, man. I think he's the better striker. He has more of a history in kickboxing. He's known more for his striking. Like, he's just all around better. He's got more power. I think the only thing that he lacks might be the chin. He might have a worse chin than Tom Nolan, so he could get chinned early in this fight. I just expect him to kind of pick at him and just wear him down as the fight goes on. So give me Slava clause. I think he gets himself a late finish, Diaz. Give me third round TKO for Slava, and we get to see a dance. That'll be nice.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. These are two guys who are both not good wrestlers at all, not good grapplers, essentially. This is going to be a stand-up fight for sure. And to me, Borshchev is the better striker. But there's a big kind of overarching theme in this one is that both of these guys also kept, like, they leave their fucking heads open. They take shots every single fight, essentially. So I think what's guaranteed in this one is that somebody's definitely getting chinned. I think it's going to be Tom Nolan as well. But, I mean, I could certainly see it the other way around, too, right?
Yeah, I'm not betting this fight. Don't get that. Like, I'm not, like, super confident. I'm not betting it at all.
Yeah.
How you getting dropped by Chase Hooper, my boy? Like, what is that about?
Dude, that's crazy. You know? That really is so crazy. That was so shocking. Anyway, yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go Borshchev by knockout.
Borshchev, bro. Let's go.
All right, partner. Moving on. I think this is the last fight. No, this is the first fight. No, last fight of the prelim. Sorry. It is Jack. It's Jack Jenkins. He is taking on, Gabriel Santos. You know I love me some Jack Jenkins, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know I love me some Jack Jenkins. Always have. Love the style just in general. You know, the swag, the vibe. Jack Jenkins, cool-ass name, too. He's got really good fight IQ, man. We know he's got those leg kicks. He has literally won fights with the leg kicks, so I expect to see those early and often. Now, Gabriel Santos is very explosive, right? And he's also probably the stronger fighter, and he's definitely the bigger fighter. So, you know, is it going to be smart for Jack Jenkins to be trying to get in and just, firing off leg kicks? I think he's got to time those perfectly, and he's got to be very careful in this one with those as well. The level of competition for Jenkins, right? Not great, but I feel like people always count him out, right? But I don't know. I just really like his style, man. I like the clean, crisp boxing. He is a little bit undersized, and, Gabriel Santos is going to be, I think, a decent amount bigger, if I'm not mistaken, in this one. Santos is going to be 2 inches 2 inches of reach and 2 inches of height, but he's just the bigger guy overall, right? So to me, man, I think Santos is the better ground game here. I think that's going to kind of be the difference. I hate picking against Jack Jenkins, but I think Santos is eventually going to get the best of him on the ground and get a submission in the second round, man.
I'm going to disagree with you, DS. I am picking Jack Jenkins, and I'm down as fuck to do that. I think here's what's crazy about this.
Now you make me feel even worse for picking against Jack Jenkins.
Come on, man. Don't be like that. You know, is this the first fight we disagree on?
I think so, yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. But look, Jack Jenkins to me.
Honestly, they're all pretty straightforward, I think. The only one would have been the last one, but, you know.
Right.
Borshchev should win.
That's a coin flip. But look, Jack Jenkins, as you mentioned, bro, he puts his opponents through a fucking, like, meat grinder. Like, he is breaking everybody's fucking bones, shins, forearms, shoulders. That's like a running theme with him. He hurts everybody, cracks their bones, fractures them and shit. He's tough as fucking nails. And
maybe he's one of those guys like Gaethje where he just hits fucking hard, dude. And, like, it may not look like it, but.
Yeah, he hits hard as shit. And longtime fans and avid fans of the 10-7 MMA will know or may have noticed in that failed series that we did with the video game, there was a guy that was like kind of based off Jack Jenkins, the Australian fella.
And low-key, there was a guy that looked exactly like Gabriel Santos, too.
Let's get it. So we already seen this fight. Look, I'm going Jack Jenkins, DS. I think he's going to be too tough in front of a home crowd. I don't see Gabriel Santos finishing him. Yes, he has power. I just don't see Jack Jenkins getting knocked out. I think this is going to be a 3-round fight either way. And I expect the hometown guy to, number one, have the judges on his side, slightly biased judging maybe. But I think he's going to create damage, man. He slows his opponents down, and the guy fucking cracks, and he looks tough as shit. And 80% on Tapology are going with Jack Jenkins, but he's a plus 190 underdog. So that tells me one of two things. That either tells me Jack Jenkins is a very, very popular fighter, and maybe we haven't realized that he's a fan favorite. Or B, it tells me scared money don't make no money because these motherfuckers ain't betting Jack Jenkins or he wouldn't be a plus 190 fucking underdog.
Yeah. I mean, dude, and it's not like, you know, Santos is like some world beater, right? He lost to David Onama, lost to Lerone Murphy, which is not a bad loss at all. Onama, I'm not sold on Onama personally, but
still not a bad loss, right?
Not a bad loss, but man, I want to see Jack Jenkins win, and I might be sending you the let the record show text on that one.
By the way, if you're gonna send me a let the record show text, DS, I just want the fans to know one thing. I'm gonna post that. And where's it going to be posted? Right there, like it says at the bottom at the 10-7 MMA on fucking Instagram. Check us out. You see that? Shameless plug number 3.
Boom. Love it. All right, let's move on. First fight of the main card, Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. Is this me or you?
I'll take it. This is whatever.
Yeah, this is you. Yeah, you know, man, I really like both these guys. This is one of my favorite fights on the card.
Yeah, look, it's a great fight, DS. Let me not take away from that. But I am just going to say, this is not a fucking pay-per-view worthy fight.
No, and that was going to be my next sentence, too. Yeah, I fully agree.
This is like a fifth prelim. Like, what are we doing that we're having to drop $90 fucking dollars or whatever pay-per-views are worth nowadays? Anyways, Jake Matthews, well-rounded fighter, obviously a good grappler, man, decent striker. Been in the UFC for a long time, man. It doesn't look like it. He's a younger dude, but he's been with the promotion for a while now. Pretty dangerous, pretty well-rounded, right? Another one of those guys that's like nothing really sticks out about Jake Matthews' game, but he's pretty damn good everywhere. He's tough as hell. He's got some good cardio. I guess that's the thing that sticks out about him, toughness. He's taking on Francisco Prado, a guy that came into the UFC with a ton of hype, an Argentinian prospect. He was putting everybody away in the first round. Stupid fucking power, super fast on the feet, super aggressive. He's pretty durable. We've seen him in some trouble. Looks like he could be put away from, by guys that have really high level power. Here's what I'm seeing, DS. Jake Matthews, not as active as I would love him to be. Francisco Prado hasn't really proven too much to me in the UFC yet. To me, still kind of the raw green guy that, that he was coming in. How old is he? He's still like 23 years old, right? 24 years old?
22.
22 years old. Young as hell. Look, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm going to take the dog in Francisco Prado. If he gets it done, it's got to be by knockout. If not, Jake Matthews is finishing him. I see this fight being a finish either way. I'll take the plus money here because it's such a coin flip, but I'm not, I'm saying I'm not going to bet it. I'm going to bet it because I'm a fucking asshole. Francisco Prado by knockout, but Jake Matthews could probably win this fight.
Yeah, I'm a big Jake Matthews guy. With him having developed the striking a little bit more, I really expected big things after the who the fuck was it? Was it
Michael Morales?
After he knocked out Andre Filio, right? That was awesome, and he just looked so good in that. And then we just found out Andre Filio is just trash, and everybody's knocking him out. So, but still, I love Jake Matthews, like you said, man, very well rounded. We went from breaking down a very smart Australian fighter in Jack Jenkins to breaking down what I consider a fairly low IQ fighter in Jake Matthews. I'm not saying he's stupid as a person. I really like the guy. I just think that he makes some stupid fucking decisions during fights sometimes. Now, Francisco Prado is not, I don't see him really taking down Jake Matthews. Francisco Prado's, he's got good power and he is very green. But like you said, man, he's got the one win against Azaitar. And then after that, he just kind of got teed off on by who was it? By Zellhuber and by Malarkey too. He lost to Malarkey, which I'm not a big Jamie Malarkey guy. I know he's been around for a bit, but that's fine. So to me, man, Jake Matthews is just the better fighter. I'm definitely more confident than you are. However, I don't really see this. Neither of these guys are like Francisco Prado has decent power, but these guys aren't really like tanks in terms of like power, one shot power, right? So I think if anybody does get the finish, it'll be Jake Matthews by just a barrage of shots and maybe some grounded pound. I don't really see that happening either, though, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna go Jake Matthews by decision here, man. I just think Jake Matthews. This is the kind of fight that he can win, right? A young green fighter who's not going to be able to take advantage, I don't think, of maybe some of the mistakes that Jake Matthews is going to make in this fight.
Watching live, I thought, and we watched that fight together, I thought Francisco Prado got kind of robbed against, was it Daniel Zellhuber? Really quick, the Jake Matthews band, right? That's Dave Matthews. Shout out Dave Matthews band.
Yeah, remember when they dumped a bunch of shit in the Chicago River?
I do.
Yep.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a fucking barn burner. Yes, we talked shit about it being on the fucking main card, but it's going to be a good fight. It still just doesn't deserve main card pay-per-view. I'm sorry. And neither does the next fight or the next fight. So
yeah. I'm still deciding what to do with the next fight, which of course is Jimmy Crute. He's taking on Rodolfo Bellato. Why the fuck is this fight like 2 fights into the main card? This is insane, man. This is insane. Jimmy Crute coming off a long inactive time, like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I want to say.
We were there. Was that Bulk Yair card, 290?
Yep. Yeah. Never been that impressed by him. I don't know, man. Bellato, we saw him obviously fight against Pateria. Not like a high-level UFC talent either. And honestly, neither of these guys have really shown me anything that's super exciting, right? Jimmy Crute switched religions to what is he now? Did he switch to Islam?
I have no idea.
I was reading somewhere that he switched religions in general, but
it's possible. Jake Matthews did, and they're training partners, so it's possible.
What's Jake Matthews now? Muslim?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dude.
They're trying to buy them split decisions, brother. That's what they're
you gotta start going to some fucking Abu Dhabi cards and shit. Yeah, look, man, Bellato, I don't think he's long for the UFC. Jimmy Crute, like, had you asked me this like a year or two ago, and I knew who Bellato was, which I probably didn't at that point, I would say Jimmy Crute, but something in my head is telling me that Jimmy Crute's going to get knocked out in this one. I think he's going to get knocked out in, like, the middle of the second round. Jimmy Crute's tough. Can't take that away from him. I'm not going to bet anything here. What's the over-under on it? If it's a round and a half, I'd like to bet that.
It hasn't dropped yet. It should be dropping soon, though, with this card being in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate this fight, though, more than anything. It's just, like, Rodolfo Bellato, and Jimmy Crute, that's fucking crazy, dude. And then the third to last fight, you got a motherfucker making his debut. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. So you're taking what, Bellato by knockout?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, DS, here's the thing, man. I've talked about it so much on this channel. And again, longtime viewers are going to know Jimmy Crute, man, on the way up, he looked serious. He looked like a real fucking prospect. And then all of a sudden, he looked fucking terrible. He went on like, he's still on that losing streak. But the Anthony Smith lost, then Jamal Hill knocked him the fuck out. Then Alonzo Menafield fucked him up. And he quit. He literally started crying and put his gloves down in the cage after losing that last fight. And he was like, I'm done, because this guy's on a fucking 3-fight losing streak at the age of like 26, bro. And it's like, yeah, that's heartbreaking to see a guy that had like such a bright future get, like break down basically, right? Started crying, put his gloves down, said he's quitting at 26. That's fucked up. I just don't think his heart's in the game anymore, man. I don't think he has the confidence. Not that I think Rodolfo Bellado's a great fucking fighter. I really don't. I just think he chins Jimmy Crute yet again. And this time he retires for good. Maybe he's, refreshed himself and fucking whatever. I just don't know, man. I think the chin's gone at a young age. And I think what was once a great prospect is just a fucking dude who's about to be on his 5th straight fight without a win and getting cut.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not making a title run anytime soon.
That's right.
All right, moving on. Next fight, it's Justin Tafa, of course. He is taking on Thaleson Teixeira. If you've never heard of Thaleson Teixeira, he's coming up to us from the Contender Series, but he's making his UFC debut against fucking Justin Tafa in a main event. Like, that's insane, dude.
Brother, like the feature fight of a pay-per-view. I hate to keep harping on that. Justin Tafa versus Thaleson Teixeira, who's making his debut. This is, and I said earlier, this is like the 5th fight on a prelim. This is like the 3rd fight on a prelim. And it's the fucking, and I'm talking about like an Apex card. That's the level of this. But anyways, we've got Justin Tafa versus Thaleson Teixeira. Justin Tafa, what is there to say? He's exactly who the fuck he's always been. He's exactly who his brother is. He's exactly whoever, like, you look at him and that's him. That's the archetype. That's who he is. He's a big, fat, powerful fucking kickboxing dude from down wherever the fuck he's down from over there. And he's just going to swing his ass off and hopefully he knocks someone out. And if he doesn't, this fight's not going very long because he's going to give up in the 2nd or 3rd round. He's taking on Thaleson Teixeira, well-rounded fighter, good grappling skills, good power, looks like a legitimate prospect. But then we fall into the fucking bullshit crux of, oh shit, this guy looks great on the regional scene as a fat fucking heavyweight, knocking out sloppy motherfuckers. And then he's going to come to the UFC and be naturally exposed. This fight to me is 50-50. Justin Tafa could get the knockout. I just don't trust picking Justin Tafa ever, Dino. So I'm going to go with the favorite in Thaleson Teixeira. I think he gets himself a finish in the 1st round, but who the fuck knows? Who knows and who cares, to be honest?
Yeah, who gives a fuck? And also, the UFC should not be doing the Tafas any favors at this point with how they've been acting. But
especially his brother, Junior Tafa. Fuck Junior Tafa. Fuck him.
Yeah, but what, 9 inches, 7 inches of height and 9 inches of reach. I mean,
and those are both so many fucking inches, like more than you would ever need, probably.
You literally, like, if you have half of those inches, that's probably plenty.
Right.
Like, in most cases.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, punches aren't even that deep. So, yeah, look, man, I fully agree with you. I'm going to go Teixeira as well. I'm going to go by – somebody's getting knocked out here, and I think it's going to be Justin Tafa. Once you get the big boy kind of going back, going backwards and you start landing some shots, which technically, I mean, Teixeira is already better, even at, with the little experience that he does have. I don't trust Justin Tafa. I'm never picking him, and I'll go with the slight favorite here. I would have loved to get plus money on Teixeira here, but obviously that's not going to be the case. Maybe that changes as we get closer to the fight, but I feel like more money is going to come in on Teixeira at that point. I'm taking Teixeira by like late 1st round knockout.
Yeah, and then finally, after that fucking nonsense is done, we can buckle the fuck down for 2 fights that we've been waiting 6 hours for.
Absolutely, and of course, the first of which is the co-main event. Weili Zhang, or Zhang Weili, she's taking on Tatiana Suarez.
Yes, real quick, before you start this, and I'm not doing a what do they drink. That doesn't matter here, okay? That doesn't matter. I just want to say, 2 absolute my girls. I fucking love both of them. Weili is the, like, fucking just brightens up the room, any fucking room she walks into. Tatiana Suarez, great fucking story, cancer and all that. Fucking just awesome. 2 girls, couldn't be happier for them being on this spot. But you go ahead.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, man. Look, this is a fight that we've kind of even when Tatiana Suarez, she's been inactive. She's again been inactive, and that's kind of been the biggest thing. And obviously, I'm not taking anything, God forbid, right? I mean, cancer and then injuries, and but so she's persevered. She's still undefeated. I still have very, very high hopes for her, right? I just think that I don't think she is literally going against potentially the GOAT, very likely the GOAT of this weight class, right? So to me, man, this is a fight. Like the way this fight feels bittersweet, right? Like who else is there really for Weili to fight at this point? So it makes complete sense. Tatiana Suarez. I would have rather seen this, but not right now, if that makes sense. Not under these circumstances, right? I would have rather seen it where Tatiana Suarez is coming off, a 6-month layoff, where she's been active, and the fight before that was maybe another 6 months before, or something like that. Tatiana Suarez, we know what she's known for, right? It's her wrestling that is typically eons above, right? Nobody can even touch her in this weight class in the wrestling. So that's good. I mean, that's what she's going to go with, right? That's kind of what she has to go with. The issue to me is that Zhang Weili may very well be better in the wrestling too. So, and then in the striking, I don't think it's particularly close. I don't think it's close at all, quite frankly. I think Weili is much, much better in the striking. To me, man, I just think that there's a lot more ways for Weili to win this. She's been in these moments. She is in the absolute prime of her career still. She has shown no signs of slowing down. I can't possibly pick against her. I love Tatiana Suarez. I'm rooting for her. Not to win necessarily, because like you said, I really like both these ladies. But I'm gonna take Weili, man. I'm gonna take Weili by. I'm gonna take her by like late third round TKO.
Yeah. Some good money to be made there. Look, DS, I posted a picture with Tatiana Suarez on V107 MMA, by the way. Y'all should go check that out, like it says at the fucking bottom.
I can't believe the odds are where they are. I'm going to be honest with you.
And you mentioned something, DS. You mentioned who else, who else could have been here. The UFC could have fucking done this the right way. Virna Janjanova, it's her turn. This is her turn. But they're giving it to Tatiana Suarez.
I fucked up. That's brutal. Yeah, she should be here.
And look, no shade towards Tatiana Suarez in that, right? I mean, she deserves it. Tatiana Suarez, a girl similar to Alexandre Pantoja, similar to Merab Dvalishvili, where I've always thought that she was going to end up being a world champion at some point, and I still hold that. I think she will be. Now, look, DS, if this was Virna Janjanova, I was going to be picking her over Weili, guaranteed. And I love Weili. Like, she might now be my favorite female fighter on the roster. But DS, I'm going Tatiana Suarez, man. I think the wrestling is going to be too much. I know Weili's been working on it a ton. She came in as a striker. She's been winning a lot of her fights lately with the grappling. She's going to need every bit of grappling to stop Tatiana Suarez. There are some question marks that you were kind of alluding to. On the feet, this is Weili by a mile, man. If Tatiana Suarez gets stuffed on a couple takedowns, I don't know that she has that Merab-type gas tank to keep pushing through and getting those, trying to get those takedowns. So it could be a super long night for her. I could totally see that happening. So I do like the Weili by TKO prop, like in the third with Suarez failing some takedowns. I just don't think she will, man. She is a big girl for the division, DS. People forget she's fought at 125. She has some great wins on her resume, man. Jessica Andrade, Montana De La Rosa, Carla Esparza, former champion. Say what you will about her. Alexa Grasso, former champion. So Tatiana Suarez, the real deal, man. Her and Patchy Mix look like they have been living this life. So I am reluctantly, and again, I say I love both girls. I do have a dog in this race. It's Weili, but I'm reluctantly going Tatiana Suarez by decision. And it is what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I get it. What else is there to say? I absolutely do get it. Tatiana Suarez is going to be physically bigger. I know they're weighing the same weight class, whatever. I do expect her to be noticeably bigger. So it's very possible. Yeah. I can't pick against Weili, man. I just think for any time that it's on the feet, she's going to fuck Tatiana Suarez up.
Brother, I mean, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Trust me. And it hurts me to do it. Hurts me to pick it. So I hope you're right and I'm wrong. And what do you call it? I'm 2-0 on title fights this year, DS. And women's title fights, I was 100% last year. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope that streak breaks here. But I think Tatiana Suarez gets the nod in this one.
All right, let's see what happens.
A big
Main
rematch,
event.
by the way. Sorry, big rematch if she does win.
Oh, you got to, dude.
Yeah.
You got to. Even if it's like first round fucking, I don't know, slam knockout, like you have to give it to her. Like, unless you give it to Verna at that point. Like, all right, moving on to the main event. We've got, of course, Dricus Du Plessis. He is taking on Sean Strickland. We've seen this fight. It was a very methodical kind of back and forth last time, but both guys took a shit ton of damage. How do you see the second time around playing out?
Yeah, man. The first fight was controversial as hell, man. And watching it live, I believe we both scored it to Sean Strickland. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I acknowledge, even in the moment, I acknowledge how close it was, but I thought it was, I was not like super confident, but I thought Strickland won it.
Yeah, so I had it 3-2 Strickland live, and we interviewed Charles Johnson like shortly after that fight, DS, like literally the same week. And he was at the fight, and I was shocked when we talked to him, and I asked him, "What's your opinion on that fight?" And he said 5-0 Dricus. I was like, man,
yeah, that's right, dude. Holy shit, I forgot about that.
and I was like, man, maybe, this guy's in the UFC, fucking knows what he's watching. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I still disagree with Energy because I just watched this fight again yesterday. I get 3-2 Dricus. It's still 3-2 Strickland to me. But anyways, Dricus Du Plessis, what is there to say, DS? I mean, he has come out here every single damn time in the UFC and proven everybody wrong. They say he's too sloppy. He's not technical enough. His cardio sucks. He doesn't have finishing ability. Like every knock in the book against Dricus Du Plessis, yet the guy comes out there and fucking wins. And there's something to be said about that. Is his striking pretty? No, it's hideous. It's actually hideous. Is anything about Dricus Du Plessis standard or normal or like technical? No, it's not. Nothing is technical about him. But the guy continues to march forward, be sloppy, be aggressive as hell, and it's worked out for him so far. Taking on Sean Strickland. We know the deal with Sean Strickland, right? High volume, jabs, teeps. That's his go-to. Sometimes he wings this fucking overhand right every once in a while off of his jab. And that's nice. He should do more of that if he wants to win this fight. Because DS, I think the way I see it is, has Sean Strickland gotten better since the last fight? Has he added any new wrinkles to his game versus has Dricus Du Plessis done that? With Dricus, it's hard to tell, right? Because he's so sloppy and unorthodox that it looks like he's just throwing the fucking kitchen sink at you at all times. So I think there are things that Dricus Du Plessis has in his arsenal that we haven't seen yet. When it comes to Sean Strickland, I don't know that that's the case. I think he is exactly who we think he is. He's good enough to beat the best fighters in the world on his night and make them look pretty stupid, blank them at times. But something needs to be said about that because he beat Paulo Costa last time out and what I thought was a clear 50-45, yet the judges, one of them at least, gave a win to Paulo Costa in that. So there's something about Sean Strickland's style that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And it has to be something where watching it from a different perspective, it looks very fucking different. With that being said, I don't think
he also never really goes for it, bro. He's for all the shit that he talks, he's an extremely defensive fighter, right?
Yeah.
And he's always got the guard up, constantly teep, right? Jab, like very defensive. He's like his defense is probably the best defense. Like he's the best defensive fighter in the weight class. And I think that's something that people underrate about Sean Strickland a lot, right? So I think that's part of it, but I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, yeah. I mean, you're right, man. That Philly shell, it holds up and he's a guy with great cardio and he's going to continue going and going. But I think what we're going to see this time, Dino, is a Dricus Du Plessis who has no fear of Sean Strickland because Sean Strickland does not impose fear into his opponents. The only fear for Dricus Du Plessis would be gassing against Sean Strickland. And I think after he had the surgery and now that he's gone into championship rounds multiple times in the UFC, he knows that he can dig deep enough to go into those rounds and be successful in those rounds. I think Sean Strickland won the last one. I think he was, I hate to say robbery because it was a close fight, but I think he was unjustly given a loss. I just think Dricus is going to go into this fight with no fear, DS, and Sean Strickland's going to come into it with a mentality of I have to get a finish because I'm not going to win a decision against this guy, and he's going to leave himself vulnerable. That defense is going to open up. So I'm going DDP round 2 TKO, man. I think he's going to drop and really hurt Sean Strickland as Strickland opens up in this fight.
I 100% agree with you. That was very well broken down. really have a ton to add, honestly. We've seen this fight. Anybody who is like crazy confident one way or another, or is telling you like, is full of shit, right? We've seen this fight. It was very close the first time around. I do agree after watching it and rewatching it one time or two times now. I went in preparation for this. I still think it was very close, but I think Strickland won. I agree with you. I do agree though. Even when the rematch was announced, I was like, I think this guy gets a finish now, and I stand by that. And I agree with you. Second round, I think like early to mid second round, I think Dricus is going to catch him with something wild, and yeah, I mean, even if it goes to decision, man, like we just kind of touched on, right? Sean Strickland, the only time I've ever really seen him go for it was when he fought for the title the first time versus Adesanya. But that's like when he was already beating the shit out of him, right? He was countering the shit out of him, catching him with the jabs, and had Adesanya completely out of sorts, right? With the movement and everything. And also, we just saw what happened to Adesanya just recently, right? So where's his head at, right? Was his head in the game head ass, right? Was his head in the game at that point to begin with? Was the chin already starting to fall off for Adesanya? So there are question marks there, right? But yeah, man, for some reason, I just more than anything a hunch, right? But like I like the way that you phrased it. I like the way that you put that we may not have seen everything of Dricus, right? Where we know exactly who Sean Strickland is. He's gonna always yap and oh man, sorry guys. Even if you know exactly what he's gonna say. Even if he wins by decision, sorry guys, sorry it wasn't got good performance on my part and all this shit like every single time, right? So yeah, I fully agree with you, man. I'm gonna go second round knockout for Dricus as well.
Yeah, DS. And just to elaborate a little bit, man, I really, again, I think Sean Strickland's going to go into this with the mentality of I have to get a finish, and he's going to push forward as he normally does. Dricus, while he does back up, is not going to back up as much this fight because he's not going to be concerned with what's coming back at him. So it's going to be two dudes crashing into each other. And if we get some of those phone booth, like just phone booth swinging, Dricus gets sloppy, he can get caught. But the price, like the cost of doing that is going to be so much more for Sean Strickland because if Dricus lands,
he's got more power.
That's what I'm saying. If Dricus lands something 100% clean, I'm not saying Sean Strickland can't get a knockout. Of course he can, but the cost is going to be so much more. If Dricus lands something heavy versus if Strickland lands something heavy, I just feel like Strickland is going to be more affected. Again, a fight, I have a dog in the race. I would prefer Sean Strickland win this fight. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I can't pick against DDP anymore. I just can't, unless he's fighting Khamzat. I would pick Khamzat, but for now,
I would also pick Khamzat there. But yeah, I think anybody else in the division at this point, I would pick DDP. Yeah. I was slow to get on the hype train. I get it now. The only thing that he really needs to watch out for is that cardio, right? Because Strickland does have the better cardio, and it's not particularly close. Now, Dricus, he made it happen, and again, sometimes he just looks more tired, and then he still has power, though. He ends up fucking swinging and catching Strickland with something, right? So, yeah, I don't, Strickland, I just don't see it, man. And then that's it, I think, for the Sean Strickland champion situation aspirations for now.
Yeah, and as we say that, watch Sean Strickland fucking slump him.
I'd love to see it.
Oh man, that would make me.
Dricus has grown on me though, I will say.
Not me.
It's like Stockholm syndrome. He just fucking beats everybody that I like, and then I'm like, you know what? He's not too bad.
He's not so bad. I'm starting to get there with Arturo, unfortunately, but I hope that's I still would like Volk to beat his ass. Anyways, anything else, DS?
No, that's it, man.
All right, well, shit. Thank you guys for watching UFC 312, which should have been in Chicago. That's our area code. UFC 312 should have been here. But anyways, UFC 312 takes place in Australia on Sunday over there. Normal times for us in the States. Very, very top-heavy card. You got to miss the prelims? Miss the fucking prelims. Who gives a shit? DS, I'm still going to be dropping the quick picks video tomorrow. I believe you're going to be dropping the betting video as soon as the odds drop.
Yeah, I think there is some money to be made on this one.
There it is. So look out for that. And just to throw a question out there, DS, if they wanted to watch these videos, what should they do? What should they do?
Well, they should probably subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Maybe like this. You don't have to like this video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. The bell will make a little sound, and that sounds like smart.
No, I'm not dead. We're not doing that. We're not switching.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right,
Like and
fair.
subscribe, guys. Help us out. We want to get to 1,000. Follow us on Instagram at the107MMA. Look out for more content coming up this week. Guys, that right there, I always point the wrong way. That right there is my boy DS. I'm Dino Bandman. This is the 107MMA. We thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.